Hey guys, so a friend just bought a house and received this candle as a gift, and I thought it was funny because we had already looked at doing several things on this list, but it has good reminders for everything you want to go through and check. And of course the first thing you want to do is change the locks, and Consumer Reports rates this Kwikset smart key system a pretty high ratings. And the nice thing about it is you get a brand new lock on your door. You can rekey this yourself. You don't have to call a locksmith, and you can rekey it to any key you already have or want to use. And it's nice that you can rekey it to allow contractors or painters or cleaners or whoever into the house while you're doing all the move-in stuff, and then you can rekey it back to the keys that only you have. And so it's a good system to consider when changing the locks or getting new locks on your house. And then the next thing is, of course, change your air filters, and change them immediately. Right after you move in, right after you get that house, change the air filters. Write down the size you need, and if there are several different sizes, make a list. But these come in all sizes. Change those filters when you first close on the house, and then change them again after you've done all the cleaning and all the painting or moving in you want to do, because you're going to kick up a lot of dust and dirt and things like that. So change them when you first get the house, and then change them right after you finished moving in. And along with your air filters, some people might not consider that if you have exhaust fans in your bathrooms, especially if it's an older house, the vents themselves may have been cleaned, but the fans themselves that are up above the vent covers may not have been cleaned for some time. So it's a good idea to take everything down, give it a good cleaning, especially if it has a lot of dust like this, and get that clean fan back in place. And then if you have the yellowing of the vent covers like this one is, the easiest way to take care of that, and there are YouTube videos that'll show you how to re-whiten these with peroxide and things like that, but they do re-yellow over time. So what I would recommend, give them a good cleaning, and it's the plastic yellows, we've all seen it. Give it a quick little sanding, just rough up the surface a little bit, and then get this Rust-Oleum product. It's a paint and primer in one. Do very light coats because of all the nooks and crannies of these of the vent cover itself, but do a couple of light coats of this paint and primer and I would recommend a matte finish, and you're going to have a bright white vent cover that'll look like new, and it won't re-yellow, and it's painted, and so you won't have to worry about that again. And if you want to have the brightest light in there, like in the picture here, I would recommend these LED bulbs, and they're smaller than a regular bulb, and they fit better in these fans, I've found. And so when you're changing everything, that is what I would recommend as far as the bulbs. Get a nice bright white. You can get other soft white or whatnot, but I like the nice bright daylight bulbs. And then of course, make sure you've got smoke detectors, that you know where they are, and take them down and look at them. Most have dates on them. These are actually 22 years old, and you can see on the picture it says replace in 10 years. It has a date of 2003. This is 2025. So these smoke detectors are 22 years old. So no matter if they have a new battery, the smoke detector itself, the components in it can age, and you need to replace that. So if your smoke detectors are over 10 years old, get new ones. You can buy, these are top rated from First Alert. These are top rated from a Ciderwell company, and you can buy multi-packs and make sure you have one outside, in each bedroom or right outside, in your kitchen, of course, and then any other areas of your home, including basements, things like that. And on that note, get a few fire extinguishers. Make one in your kitchen, and then in another area of the house, and make sure everyone knows where those are. Most people don't think about fire extinguishers, but they are important to have. So when you're doing some cleaning, these are just some products that I have found work very well. Of course, your basic toilet cleaner, along that idea, make sure you have a plunger. And then if your house is on a septic system, you will want to, especially if it's not been lived in for a while, go ahead and treat that septic tank, unless you've had it pumped recently, or unless the seller's had it pumped for you. Go ahead and treat it. And then of course monthly treatments are recommended for septic systems. Now if you're on city water, this doesn't apply, but as this is a good thing to use. These are just easier than some of the other powder forms, because you just drop one of these right in the toilet and flush it, and you're good for a month. And so the next thing on this list for the candle, I think, was buy a first aid kit. And you just want a basic first aid kit, especially when you're in there. Before you've got all your stuff in there and you're moving and cleaning, it's a nice idea to have a basic, at least some Band-Aids and things like that. And I've added super glue gel to the list because I think that's kind of a first aid kit for just quick fixes for the house. And this product, the Loctite super glue gel, is really one of the few versions I've used that actually you can use this whole bottle. You put the cap back on, it's a gel so you can control it, but you can put the cap back on and actually reuse this. We've all had those tubes of super glue that you use it once and then you can't get the lid back off because it super glues the lid shut to itself. This one doesn't do that. I've actually ran this bottle dry and had to reorder because it's one of the easiest ones I've been able to use. So when you're looking under your sinks, and if you've had any kind of leaks, check for leaks. Your home inspection should have done that for you. But if you've had any kind of leak or water damage or just staining under your cabinets, I would recommend getting a mold and mildew primer, paint and primer for that area, and then paint covering that stain, and that will also seal in any mold and mildew that could be there. And then you can just buy a nice mat to cover that. You could leave it white like this, or you can buy a nice mat to cover it, and that'll just help, and it'll help you find leaks in the future. You may not see it as they kind of soak into the wood under a cabinet, but if you've got it sealed or you have a silicone mat down, it's going to help you kind of see what's going on under there. And then, of course, as you're cleaning, again, if you've got a stove, I forgot to take a picture of the inside, but you can probably see the stove hadn't been cleaned. And this product, the Easy Off Pro, was a very good product for, of course, the interior of the stove. You have to use a couple, depending on how dirty it is, you have to use a couple of applications, but you spray it on, let it sit, and the grease and grime does come away rather easily. And this is fume free, so it does not kill you while you're trying to do other things. You can spray it down, go back to it later, and you're not having to kind of vacate the house while you clean your oven. Next on the list, of course, a fireproof safe. This is a good model to start with your all your receipts and your home, the instruction manuals and the warranty cards on all the appliances or anything you have in the house, and everything you're doing when you're moving in, and of course any information you want to keep in there. But it's just a good little one. Some people like the bigger ones. This one's nice because it's portable. You can put it in the back of a closet and put your important papers and things in there and not have to worry about it. And because we're talking about fireproof and we've covered fire extinguishers and everything, cleaning your dryer vents. If the home had a dryer in there when you bought it, go ahead and make sure you clean out the front vent. And depending on how long your dryer vent is to the outside, you may need one of these kind of round rotating brushes that you can attach to a drill to get the lint out of there. And there's companies that will do this for you, but it's easy to get this kit and do it yourself. Make a little DIY box, your utility box kind of for home maintenance. And if you have any dings or chips out of your fiberglass or porcelain tubs, like here, and here's a close-up of that, it's a pretty big spot of damage. You can call in a professional to repair and refinish these, but if you're not set on having it done professionally and hopefully perfectly at that point, I would recommend getting this kit from Amazon. And I was able to get this kit under $20. I read the reviews, I watched a ton of YouTube videos on how to do it, and then I was able to repair those chips. You can still see, and the color, I had to color match a little bit, and the color is off a little bit, so you can still see the areas that were chipped, but, and this is after sanding, they do seal it very well, and it, once you wet sand it kind of smooth, it kind of blends in, and you probably won't notice it as much as you think. And for $20, for under $20, this saved, you know, over $1,000 of having that tub professionally repaired and resealed. And you know, will this patch last forever? I don't know, because this is the first time I've used it, but I was very impressed with that simple kit. But do watch the videos repeatedly, so you have an idea of the process of what you're doing, and prep is important for this. But yeah, for under $20, you can repair these small dings and chips in your tub, so it at least seals it and prevents further damage. And as a final note, the final thing on the candle was buy a shower curtain. And these are some of the best shower curtains. They're heavy enough that they don't kind of move with your, you know, the bathroom fan and whatnot. They're heavy enough. I like the clear ones because I like light to come through, and they are soap scum resistant. And the nice thing is you can, if they do get a little cloudy or scummy, you can throw these in your washing machine, and they pretty much clean themselves that way, and then hang it back up. And if you have not tried a curved shower curtain rod, I would highly recommend adding that to your new house, because it will give that shower space a lot more elbow room. If you've a lot of hotels have these, so if you've ever been to a hotel with a curved shower curtain, you know the extra room it provides, and they're so easy to install, and it's a good thing to do as you're moving in and getting your house ready. So a curved shower curtain rod and this shower curtain will get you ready to not only have the house clean, but you can keep clean as well. So there is our list for getting your new home ready to move in. And good luck, guys, and make sure you get those, be sure to check those smoke detectors and get a fire extinguisher at least. Thanks.